the next 15 minutes how we implement Jira services according to ITIL processes, and for us it's very important to make these processes become alive. And a lot of people think it's very theoretical, the entire ITIL framework, and how do I integrate it in my tools, how I make my organization better with it, and I hope I will be able to show you a little bit about that in the next couple of minutes. Okay, let's say we will start with a customer that has some kind of issue, and usually he would call us, he would mail us, or however get contact with us. And the preferable way for many IT organizations would be if the customer or the user comes through a portal, because we don't have to create a ticket and it saves us time as well. This is in German, but I will translate whatever is important so you can keep track of what I'm doing. This portal is customizable, but this portal shows us different request type, incident management type, whatever we can do. And within this portal, I can report an incident, or according to access management, I'm able to make a request for a new password, Wi-Fi access, VPN access, whatever. Or even if I need some sort of request for software, I can ask for software. And the good thing is that our tool in the background is connected to a CMDB, and from the CMDB we do pull the software products that are available for this user. So the user doesn't see 100 tons of different applications, he only sees the applications that are really for him. Every user and each user can check his own tickets right on the top and see what his status is about the tickets, what tickets he had in the past, and so on. And of course, share the ticket from here if he wants, whatever. Sometimes the user, if he has a problem, or we just create a ticket, let's say, I cannot print. That's, I cannot print in German. My knowledge base is in German. It wouldn't work if I write English. No, okay. You can have multi-languages, of course. This comes from my knowledge base. So before you even created the ticket, it gives the user already solutions. Like how can he resolve a simple printer problem? So the goal is to even avoid the ticket before it has been made. So saving time in the IT for doing other very important things for us. Of course, if the user, this doesn't help the user, he will create a ticket, and the ticket will come to our backlog, and we have to deal with this ticket. I will show you what we're going to do in this case. Let's say I'm opening one of these tickets here, and it looks a little bit fancy. Maybe I can remove that. Yeah, there's some more place here. One question we do have is, if we have a ticket, if we have an incident, if there's a similar incident at the same time right now, because the last thing I want to do is to deal with an incident a colleague of mine already started 10 minutes ago. So we were 2 people on it. So many tools, you would need to leave your ticket here and make a search for similar tickets. The next thing you would probably do is, once you found there's a similar ticket, you would like to know our solutions to it. So you search your knowledge base, you'll probably have 3 windows. Nobody does that really. Well, a lot of people say ITIL doesn't work, unless you do it the right way. So what we do here is actually we give you all the information within the ticket immediately, instantly. So right here, what you do see is that the system already looked there, if there are similar tickets to mine, and who's working on them. And in this case, Mr. Dexter is already working on this ticket, so I would give it to him. So I don't have any work to do anymore, but he does. And once he finishes his first tickets, very probably the other tickets are very correlated to this, and he can close them immediately. So we're not working with 2 people on it. If I cannot give it to him for any reason, I would probably go down and look for answers. So it already made a search for my knowledge base. And in this case, it suggested for instantly it must be based on this ticket. Somebody reported he cannot print, another guy couldn't access the network, so it must be some central thing, like a switch, and you have knowledge base articles relating to the switch. There's some kind of logic there. Okay? Sometimes this even doesn't help, so I have to dig deeper. So I would like to know, in my case, I couldn't access Drive X on my file server. The system knows that my file server is certified. So if I go there, I see all the information about the server. And if I want to dig deeper, I press on the server. Let me do it graphically. Now I have from my CMDB some information of how my infrastructure does look like. In this instance, the server is running virtual machine 5, and this virtual machine is running Microsoft Exchange. That's again connected to a service. And everybody who works in IT knows that if I have an incident, it's probably not because something broke. It's probably because somebody changed something. So I know that my drive X is on server 5. So it worked until a couple of hours ago, and now it doesn't work. So what did change? Let's check. I press on my server, and down here I see the changes. In this case, somebody installed a hotfix. So now what happened? So I can go very fast and find a solution very probably for my incident. This will help me. This is how we connect to Jira ServiceDesk with our CMDB inside. For those of you who have service catalogs, you probably know that sometimes it's not easy for ServiceDesk technician to pick the right service. If you don't pick the right service, you will probably won't pick the right SLA connected to the service, and you will have wrong reportings and wrong escalations in your process. So it's very important that we help the user pick the right service. Some of our customers have huge service catalogs with 100 or more services. So let's see what happens if we create a new ticket. And let's say I get the same as before. I have some printing problems. Here we go. I cannot print. So according to ITIL, I would go there and you have to classify this ticket right now. I have to choose the service. Because the system knows from what department the user is, whether from Active Directory or any other database, it will only show me the ticket, these services associated to this department. So if I cannot print, next question is, what did I try to print? Did I try to print a quote, Angebot erstellen in Germany? Or did I try to print some marketing materials? So this is the services what we provide. So well, I try to create a quote. The service that he provides us help the business create quotes. So if I choose the service, many of you know that creating quotes probably involves more than one application. So from the CMDB, I do grab now all the applications related to the service. So CRM, definitely, do something with quotes, maybe my SAP, whatever. Once I choose this application as well, I have more and more information. And this is the information we use from this classification later on for searching in the knowledge base for the right articles and correlation of tickets and how they work. And everybody who knows ITIL will say, now the next thing we have to do is to choose an impact. Is everybody affected, a couple of users, or is it just a small performance glitch? Let's say we have a couple of users affected. It would be different if 100 users cannot work. If it's only 3 or 4, maybe you don't have to work in 4 hours, I have maybe 10 hours or more. Once I create this ticket, it will calculate, based on my SLAs and on these classifications, what my mean time to recover is. So in this case, it's 16 hours. So this is a quality gate. And we have other quality parameters we can use, like reaction time, because we want to make sure that the ticket is classified, it's certified in a certain amount of time, because I don't want to have a high-priority ticket laying there for 3 hours just to find out that we have 1 hour left to solve the ticket. Okay? Good. This is something, how we implement the classification process with very huge service catalogs. Also, if you check our configuration management database, in this database, I can show you how this works in the background. So I have my definition of my services, my business services. These are related to applications, and these are related maybe to technical systems, like a SQL database or virtualization platform or whatever. And each of these technical pieces have service teams. So the systems, by the way, connected to it. But it also knows who is responsible or who is able to make support. So I can route these tickets immediately to the right people. And this is something that's always a hassle in a lot of organizations. Okay. Another thing that's very important, we've seen in some places knowledge integrated. When we created a ticket, it provided us knowledge. When we went into the ticket, it provided us knowledge. It's different knowledge. Knowledge for the user, knowledge for the IT guys, the tech guys. Because I don't want to give the user something like to reset a switch or like this. Okay, let us go ahead and look a little bit to our knowledge base. I'll show you an example. Let's say what I showed you here is the incident management process. And show you how we document an incident management process here. This is in German, but I will try to translate. Okay, what we see here is our incident management process, a flowchart about this process. And if somebody wants to know this classification I showed you a second before, you would press here, show me how to classify this ticket, and I will have a step-by-step explanation. A step-by-step clarification what I do need to do to classify a ticket. And I also can click and see what's the next thing. So again, a step-by-step process here. Also, process documentation is other information like KPIs. So there are different KPIs so I can measure my process. I have my KPIs defined, I can have a closer look to one of the key KPIs and see who is this KPI for, why, what are the statuses I need to grab this. Of course, I want to know maybe roles. The ranking matrix as described in ITIL is built in, and everything is documented here, piece by piece, not in one document. So if something changes, I change it only in one place. And I can choose and use this piece in many documents. If I change it in one place, it will change in all other documents. Very important if you make like continuity management. You have disaster recovery plans. If something changes, you may want to make sure one component changed in one place, that all your recovery plans are up to date. Of course, I can have a consolidated view, like a handbook for the process. And this handbook will have all the information from all these bits that are part of my documentation, like my activities based on roles, my statuses, my KPIs, my roles and stuff like this. And some of you maybe want to give this handbook to somebody else. It should be look a little bit nicer than it looks here. So it's possible for me to export it as a PDF, and I can have different templates with a title, with an index, whatever. And I can do this automatically as well. So like every 12 or 24 hours. It's very good for disaster handbook. You don't want to have it in your data center. It burns down. You want to have to send it somewhere else. Okay? If I check my handbook right now, it looks pretty fancy. So I have a title, an index, and all the information we had before is now in a really nice and neat handbook. Automatically, every couple of hours. And any change is made to my knowledge base will be here in this book at least 12 hours later. So you're always up to date. Okay? Good. This has been a couple of years how we implement the Jira ServiceDesk and how we use ITIL knowledge to make the process easier. And what we did actually is we have a product, we call it IT-Servicemanagement out of the box. So it's basically a pre-configured service desk with different modules like inside configuration model, CMDB, configuration management databases, all the documented processes. Because we have a lot of customers that do similar things. Of course, there's no two ITIL processes alike. Every company has its own processes. But over all the customers I've seen in my life, I would say like 60 to 70% what you guys do is very similar. So what we did is we help you go the first 70%. We implement every workflow, all the templates, all the communication, the process documentation, so on. So you can start, you can have a quick start. The only thing you have to do is do the last 30%. So instead of implementing a tool process over months and years, you can do it over weeks and a couple of months. It makes it much faster, it makes it much easier for you to implement them. If you're interested into the service management out of the box, or have any other questions to the service desk and want to have some more in-depth information, I will be at the booth behind me, and you're welcome to ask any questions. Thank you very much.